Welcome to Transformers Travis' next review. This one's going to be on a figure I showed in an earlier video. This is my alternaty Nemesis Prime. Now, this figure is a really awesome figure. Does have rubber tires, he's got painted rims. If you look inside there, he's even got painted brake pads, and then his rotors are painted. Now, if you go under here, there's not much robot kibble. It does kind of look like the actual underside of a car, aside from these parts here. If you come over here, his doors open. And with the opening doors, you can see inside he does have seats, a steering wheel, a dashboard, a glove box. Now you're going to notice his steering wheel is on the other side. That's because he's a Japanese car, and he's not an American car, and so his steering wheel is on the other side. Now if you open up here, it does appear like he has an actual engine inside. Now, obviously, it's not perfect, but it does give the illusion of an engine. He's got an opening hood. He's got headlights. He's got a front bumper. He's got a little decal there. Or not decal, but a little symbol there for the Nissan R GTR that he is. He's also got that little symbol there on the back. Don't know if it's coming in focus. There you go. It's got like a little Nissan-esque symbol there. Now, it doesn't actually say Nissan, but it's meant to look like the Nissan symbol. He's got tail lights. He's got exhaust pipes. He's got a little grill down there. He's got a place for a license plate. He's got his back windows, side windows. They even molded in windshield wipers onto there. He's got side mirrors. On the side mirrors, it actually looks like he's got little things that kind of look like turn signals on there, but that's just a little paint differences. Now, if you come back on the mirror here, it does have like a shiny metal-ish color there to give it an illusion of being an actual mirror. And that pretty much is the car mode on him. And like I said, he does roll. He rolls rather well. One other thing is the trunk sort of opens. It's hard to do, but he kind of got an opening trunk. The trunk inside is full, but the lid opens. So on this guy here, I am going to try to fidget with him and transform him on camera. So bear with me. I have not done this guy in a while, and I'm behind the camera, so my hands are in the way. So it's going to be a little bit of fidgeting. Now, trying to remember all the things to do on him. So I open up the doors is one of the first things I do. And then I close this part here on there, like right there. I try to close that up. And then, let's see, then I just start pulling. Honestly, I've been transforming these guys long enough. If you just start to pull, you can kind of feel where the next part's going to give way at. And then you can just release it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this forward because it's letting me do that. I'm going to go ahead and break up the back here. Pull that open. So once you've been transforming these guys long enough, you just kind of know how to do them instinctively, which is kind of where I'm at. And so that makes it a little bit difficult for showing on camera. So I'm going to open up these, unfold his legs. Then you got to collapse that and collapse that again. And then you, let's see, then you bring that around here, and then I believe you do something like that with it. So you can pull this down, bring it around here like that. Pull that down, you got a leg now. So if you look there, I do apologize for, like I said, I'm not very skilled at doing these on camera yet. So, and if you're going to notice, one of the things on here, if you notice all that shininess in here, his core is die-cast metal. Most of the parts on the outside are plastic. There are a few parts that do feel metal-esque, but the main bulk of his weight is coming from this core. Now, if you're going to notice, he bends there, and then you pull this part down, and he has this little thing flip out right there. And now that part can be a little bit of a pain to line up in there, and you pull that in. And then I already collapsed this for his chest. You spin his head around. You spin the arms around. Or not spin them around. You pull them down. Fold up the chairs. Pull the hands out. What am I missing here? Oh, that's what I was doing. You got to pull them forward a little bit. I had them pulled back too far. Pull those arms up. Fold the chair up. Got the hands there. Now on the back of the chairs, he does have these little weapons that come out because mine didn't come with any weapons, but he does have open hands, if you can see here. I'll show that there. where you can technically slide something in there. I just don't have any weapons currently that fit in his hands. Now, I have seen some versions of this mold that did have weapons, but mine personally did not. Come around here, you can see his face. Now, if you look at that, he does have the classic red eyes for a Scourge or a Nemesis. That's what I'm forgetting to do. These chairs, you slide them up. That's why they weren't moving the arms right. Now, the doors back here do have a hinge where they come back and then they fold again. So you do that here and there. And there you go. I transformed him on camera. It was a little bit smoother than I thought. Like I said, I'm not that good at doing them on camera yet, so bear with me. Now, it does seem to be arcing upwards. He wants to look there. And there you go. Now he is in robot mode. So, it did take a couple minutes to do that, but it's worth it. Now, I do like his feet here. He does have a little bit of a pivot because it is a ball joint down here, so you can move his feet around. But because of his bulk, it's not as easy to pose him in as many positions as you would like. But that's just because you're dealing with the weight and the different movements. Now, one thing I forgot to notice is he does have the Autobot symbol here. So he's technically shouldn't have that. He should have a Decepticon symbol because he's the evil one. Now, there is a couple versions of Optimus Prime where they did the Scourge colors and left the Autobot symbols on there, but that's few and far between. That's usually sleep mode or something like that on Optimus, but this one's supposed to be Nemesis, and he has that, so that's a little bit weird. Now, he does have a knee, which is ratcheted. So, you want to get that on there. Now, you can pull these parts down a little bit to fold his legs down a little bit more to give him a little bit more stable leg. I forgot to do that there. But then he does, you can hear that, got a ratcheted hip, which goes forward and back. Unfortunately, because of his foot hits his back here, you can't get it all the way back unless you pull it out to the side, but then technically it's not all the way back, it's out to the side. And it goes in and out, standard hip movement and leg movement for most Transformers on a waist. He does not have a waist swivel because, like I showed earlier, this piece connects down and locks him down to keep him in place. He's got a little bit of a hollow waist there, if you're going to notice there, but it's not too bad. So he's kind of skinny, but not really. He's got an classic bend at the elbow. His wrists are on ball joints, so they got swivel, turn, flex, all that fun stuff. The arms are on a 360, can do a 360. They're not on a ball joint or anything. They're just on basically a spinning point. They do also have an outward hinge, so they can bend like that. But because of the doors and the upper arms, it is hindered. I do not believe, he does not have a bicep swivel, so he's not going to have that. The head goes up and down a little bit just because the plate moves down a little bit, but that's not really that much. His head is kind of on a ball joint, but due to the back of the head to be like the top of an engine, that kind of hinders the movement. He actually does appear to have light piping for no reason. If you look here, he's got light piping, but his eyes are painted. Or are they? No, those look translucent. Maybe we might be able to get some good color out of it. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get that to show. If I can get him to stand again, because I had him standing and then I moved him around. Like I said, he is heavy due to the die-cast pieces. So what we're going to do here is we're going to show. Yep, and he does have light piping. So those red eyes glow. So one of the nice things I'm noticing on him is the back of his head is clear plastic for the light piping, whereas the eyes are a different color, which does give him the ability to have like glowing eyes, but without having his whole back of his head lit up red. So it's a clear portion just for that. So if you notice that, I'm going to take a look at him in a little bit of red light. As you see, he's nice shiny paint job. Now this was a Japanese exclusive figure, so I did have to order him online. He's not something you could just could have gone down to your store here in the States and got. You had to order him. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show him off compared to some of the other primes. So we're going to try to move him back so we can have guys in frame. All right. So the first prime we're going to show him off with is Orion Pax. And this is a Generations figure. And as you can see, he's much bigger. Not quite Voyager size, but not quite deluxe size. So he's kind of an in-between size. One of the other things I'm going to show him off with is a Vinyltech figure. Or Alternity, whichever line it came out on, I can't remember. And as you can see, these are much bigger, but it was a similar concept line. This line came from this line. This line didn't do so well, and then in Japan they did a few guys like this. They have a Starscream and the Megatron. Now the Megatron's another Nissan. I believe it's might be the same mold. I can't remember, but this line here did have opening hands and closing hands, which was one of the nice things on them. One of the few Transformers where you could actually have posable fingers. Well, semi-posable because they open and close. Yep. And if I knock things over, I apologize, guys. So I'm going to take this guy out of frame so that way I can bring in some other guys. Stop. I keep tapping him and moving him down. Now next I'm going to show him off with my first edition Voyager class Optimus Prime. Now I do have the deluxe class, but he's in the box, so I'm not taking him out. And personally, I prefer the Voyager class. The Voyager one was a much better figure. Now, this is the first edition one, so it is a little bit different than your traditional one that you would have got at your stores all the time. This one here, I got lucky and found it at Toys R Us one day. And I was like, ooh, him and Bulkhead, they're coming with me. And here is Bulkhead, as you can see. Bulkhead. Now, the next guy I'm going to show him off with is another Prime. And this Prime is also from Transformers Prime. This is Beast Hunter's Voyager Prime. This is the first version of this mold. They did simplify it in a later version. Now, personally, I really like this one. He does have the wings. He's got the sword. He's got all these weapons, and they all attach somewhere. So he's got weapon storage, which is nice. Now, he does kind of have the shield stuff on the back there, but that just is part of the wings. So I keep him down like this, so that way he can not knock over other guys. And as you can see, this is a Voyager. This is somewhere in between Deluxe and Voyager. So the next guy is my Evasion Mode Optimus Prime from the movie, but with the DX9 upgrade kit. So this is actually God Genrai. So movie edition God Genrai. I'm going to move my camera there a little bit so try to get them in focus. Okay, they don't want to focus on me. Too much shininess. Just go ahead and bring him a little bit closer. Yep, he does not want to focus on me. So, that's him with God Genrai, essentially. And as you can see, this guy is much more massive than him, and just looks awesome. I may do a video on him at another point, but not today. The next guy I'm going to show him off with is the other Evasion Mode that I did a video on before, and this is the black diecast Scourge Evasion Mode. And as you can see, once again, you got this teal pattern here, you got the tealish pattern there, you got the black trim, you got it on the face, you got the red eyes, the grayish face, the same sort of stuff that we showed off with the already Scourge figure here. So, if you compare this to the Scourge figure, they got a lot more in common. As you can see, their faces here. I'm gonna come up here on him, if it will focus. Focus, damn it, focus! So it does not want to focus on me. There we go. So we got that focused, and then as you can see, there's his head. And I'm going to go ahead and just show him down here. I'm tiny, help me. As you can see, no teal on the face. Now I could always touch that up and give him some teal so that they would all have a matching aesthetic. But not today. So there are those two guys. That's the Optimus is there. Now, one of the other Optimuses I'm going to show them next to is MP1. But I have the American 20th anniversary, whatever edition it was, with the battle damage. So as you can see, much smaller, a lot more diecast here. Not going to transform this guy for this. And another Prime to show him off with. Move this guy out of the way. Movie edition, Revenge of the Fallen with the jetpack from Dark of the Moon. Optimus Prime, and as you can see, much smaller. They don't go together at all. And then the next Optimus I'm going to show him off with is Year of the Horse, Masterpiece Optimus Prime MP10. Now, as you can see, he's much smaller than him, so I'm going to go ahead, whoop, and drop. Sorry for the cut there, guys. I dropped my camera while trying to get them both into frame. And as you can see, there you scale how he looks next to a Masterpiece. Now, I would like this figure done in a Masterpiece figure, but scale-wise, he kind of scales with some of the other Masterpiece cars. He's a little bit smaller than them, but let's go ahead and grab one of them. So, as you can see, he's just a little bit too small to scale with the Masterpiece cars. If he was just a fraction bigger, he could be an MP Nemesis. But he isn't, so what are you going to do? So, this is Transformer Travis. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and you